Gabriela Carnevale, soy la directora de gestión curricular de la Dirección Provincial de Educación Secundaria, y es una alegría para todo el equipo de educación secundaria tener una charla formativa para nuestros docentes bonaerenses de inglés, una disciplina escolar que queremos seguir trabajando, queremos reflexionar sobre la enseñanza. Y en esta oportunidad nos acompaña Mario Barrios, junto con el equipo curricular de la Dirección de Inglés, Laura, Mercedes, con quienes venimos trabajando hace tiempo para mejorar y profundizar la enseñanza en el área en nuestra escuela secundaria bonaerense. Esta conversación se enmarca en el proceso de reforma curricular que la Dirección viene desempeñando desde los últimos años y los últimos 3 años. Así que quiero pasarle la palabra a nuestra curricularista, Laura, quien nos va a contar un poquito más de qué se trata el encuentro de hoy. Muchas gracias por participar, y también sabemos que con el correr del tiempo, esta charla que va a quedar grabada en nuestro canal de Educación, seguramente sea reproducida por otros compañeros y compañeras que en este momento no han podido estar presentes. Laura.
Bueno, muchas gracias, Gabriela. En nombre, de la Dirección Provincial queremos agradecer a cada una y cada uno de los docentes que se están conectando en este momento desde distintos lugares de la provincia. Y hoy tenemos el gusto y el honor de recibir al profesor y doctor Mario Luis López-Barrios. Le agradecemos especialmente su generosidad, su tiempo y por compartir desde la provincia de Córdoba esta charla, cuyo tema es el diseño de unidades didácticas situadas, sensibles al contexto. Y si pensamos en nuestro contexto, en la provincia de Buenos Aires, necesariamente nos lleva a pensar en plural y en una dimensión multidimensional, ¿no? Porque la diversidad geográfica de nuestras escuelas, la implementación del nuevo régimen académico, este proceso que menciona Gabriela de actualización de diseños curriculares, todo eso nos lleva a pensar en que es necesario abordar la enseñanza desde nuevos lugares, donde los espacios y los lugares físicos en las escuelas se desconfiguran con aulas cada vez más diversas, con una situación social compleja que la escuela recoge y que tenemos que responder. Entonces, desde la enseñanza de lenguas y desde la enseñanza de inglés, es necesario que reflexionemos sobre esta cuestión de cómo abordar la enseñanza. Y en este sentido, Mario hace años que viene trabajando en estos temas. Él es docente e investigador sobre el desarrollo de materiales de enseñanza de lenguas para la escuela secundaria pública, principalmente en Córdoba. Él ha publicado libros, capítulos y artículos en revistas y actas en congresos en nuestro país y en el exterior. Y parte de sus publicaciones están disponibles en la red y son de acceso abierto. Y en esta charla, Mario la va a ofrecer en inglés, que es la lengua que enseñamos, pero también habrá referencias en español, justamente hablando del contexto y de nuestro sistema educativo. Así que hacia el final va a haber un espacio de preguntas y respuestas. Nos pueden ir dejando sus comentarios y sus preguntas en el chat. Mercedes las va a recuperar y vamos a tener ese espacio. Y ahora lo voy a presentar oficialmente a Mario. Mario Luis López-Barrios holds a degree in Language Education in English and German from Universidad Nacional de Córdoba and a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Kassel in Germany. He's Professor of Foreign Language Teaching at the School of Languages, Universidad Nacional de Córdoba. His areas of interest include foreign language teaching, materials development, research methods in applied linguistics, and second language acquisition. So we warmly welcome you, Mario, and once again, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Maria Laura, Mercedes, and all of you, okay, from the group, okay, in the Ministry of Education, all right, in province of Buenos Aires, okay? I am personally very attached, okay, to the province of Buenos Aires because I am originally from Ramos Mejía, okay, and relocated to Córdoba, okay? My family is originally from the south of Córdoba, so I spent my first 7 years, okay, in Ramos Mejía, so it's a joy, okay, to be virtually in Córdoba, okay, but with my heart in Buenos Aires today. Thank you. Okay, can we show the presentation? I don't know if it is visible yet. Okay, there we are. All right. The title I formulated in English, okay, for this talk is how to design a context-sensitive teaching sequence. The idea why I think it's relevant for teachers to know how to design teaching sequences is the fact that in state schools, it is less and less common to use commercial teaching materials, course books. This was a very, very common feature, okay, probably 10 years ago, 20 years ago, okay, but it's less and less common because of many reasons. One very, very important reason is, well, you know, English course books are usually imported goods, okay, and they are pricey, and Argentinian families are unfortunately, okay, in a position that they cannot afford, okay, such pricey materials, and being able to design your own allows you the flexibility of adapting to changing conditions. All right, probably when you used a course book, you could not use the whole course book in one year. All right, and then there was this feeling of, well, was it really worth using the course book if we cannot complete it, okay, in a year, and so on. But especially the possibility of offering your learners materials with which they will identify themselves, okay, as Argentinians, okay, Latin Americans, and citizens of the world, and probably being able to introduce topics that are current. This is with printed materials not always possible because, you know, when a new course book is launched on the market, it means that it's been produced, okay, probably, or the production started around 5 years earlier, all right, which means that many things that have happened in between, okay, and that are taking place today are not present in the book, okay, hence the need. Okay, can we see the next slide? So this is my plan for today. It's about 30 minutes, okay, 40 minutes. So there's a lot, okay, I would like to share with you, but I know the time is limited. So I chose these 3 points, okay. I will start by defining briefly, okay, what we understand by a unit of work, okay, and how it fits the curriculum. Then I'd like to refer to the structure of a didactic sequence or teaching sequence, and to show you at least one example. I've got 2, okay, 2 examples, but, well, we'll see, okay, if we have time for 2, okay, or for 1 at least. Okay, so let's see the next slide. All right. Sorry, it's a lot for 1 slide, but I'll go through this with you. All right. This is a quotation from a book that is, well, oldish. Okay, it's over 30 years old, but it's still gold, okay, in its value. It's called a Plan Classwork, okay, by Spanish colleagues Sheila Estaire and Javier Sanon, okay. Maybe some of you may be familiar with this book, all right, they define in that book the unit of work, or what we call la unidad didáctica, and they also refer to the teaching sequence, what we call la secuencia didáctica. Talking about these terms in English and Spanish, okay, now we get into intercultural matters, is not easy, because the terms unit of work and teaching sequence are probably much less common in English-speaking countries, okay, in the educational literature, but they are central in Argentina and in the Spanish-speaking world. Okay, we use the terms unidad didáctica and secuencia didáctica a lot. Okay, they do so, okay, much less frequently in the English-speaking context. Okay, so the authors define the unit of work, you can see this in the slide, okay, as a series of class hours which are centered around a theme or an interest area, all right? A theme or an interest area means a non-language topic, such as holidays, school days, my neighborhood, okay, and so on, and not the simple present or the present perfect, okay? You will see that curriculum designs in all jurisdicciones in Argentina are usually built around these interest areas rather than language points, okay? It's not that in unit one we deal with the present continuous, all right? But probably the idea is that unit one deals with school life, okay? And in that context, then we expect our learners to be able to talk about their environment, okay, their classroom and their classmates, okay, and their school, all right, and the things they do at school and things like that. Of course, you need the language for all that, but the idea is that the central element is the topic as such, okay, and that the language is the vehicle, if you want, okay, that we use in order to express all these ideas. All right. I continue with the quotation. Okay. The language learning objective is to develop students' ability and knowledge to do something in the foreign language which they were unable to do before. All right. Or to do something in the foreign language better than they could before. Okay, so these are the two aims, to learn to do something new, all right, or to do something one already, well, knows how to do, okay, with much more confidence, all right. The main characteristics of a unit of work are it takes a minimum of 3 to 5 class hours, okay, but may take considerably longer, okay, especially in the state school context, okay, where usually class hours are short, okay, and well, things happen, okay, in the daily planning, all right, there is an acto, for example, or an announcement, okay, or something takes place, and then, well, instead of 40 minutes, it was only 15 or 20, all right, on that day, you know about these things. Apart from the duration, okay, of the unit of work, or the authors write that it is constructed as a coherent sequence of interrelated tasks which lead to a previously defined final task. Okay, so the approach I follow is pretty much that of task-based teaching and learning, all right, in which the idea is to depart from a final task, to define a final task, such as, for example, in the example I gave you, all right, describing our classroom, all right? That could be the final task. So we will do everything necessary, okay, to get to that point, so that students, for example, record a short video of their classroom and describe it, okay, and then share this video on a WhatsApp group, okay, from the class group, all right, or maybe you use Google Classroom, all right, or some other application, or Padlet, okay. Well, you know, there is a variety, okay, of venues where you can do this and share the productions, okay. The advantage is that then they are available to everyone, all right, and you can like the video, all right, you can comment on it, okay. So the video sort of triggers, okay, further interaction, okay, with the viewers, and probably not only from the students from the same school, okay, but teachers may choose to share it with other classes they teach at different schools, all right? So the interaction may be even richer, all right? Okay, I finished reading the unit. It may be essential for students to learn new language, for example, new vocabulary, grammar, or functions, okay? Or it may be possible for students to rely mainly on previous knowledge, all right? So we don't deny the fact that the English lesson the main thing, all right? The main thing is this idea of communicating about things, all right? Communicating about your community, your friends, your family, okay, etc., etc. And, well, the language is subservient, let's say, to this function. All right. And finishing the quotation, the tasks, okay, may allow, okay, for ongoing evaluation of the learning process. So lesson after lesson, we can as teachers, okay, assess the progress students are making, and we can make adjustments if we see, well, this is not working to satisfaction, okay, we'll do more of this, okay, or less of that, and so on, okay. And the last point here, the work of a whole school year can be a sequence of units of work. And this is an idea I would like to share with you, okay, and I would like to encourage this, and I'm very, I guess this may be one of the principles you will find in this revision, okay, of the curriculum design. It is already present in the curriculum design that is still in use, all right, but this I wouldn't be surprised, okay, that this will be further strengthened in the new version. Okay, can we see the next slide? Thank you. All right. So in this figure, okay, that I took from a recent publication where we published examples of didactic sequences or teaching sequences for English, French, and German for different contexts. In there, I define the teaching sequence, la secuencia didáctica, okay, como lo pueden ver arriba. Se entiende por secuencia didáctica una serie ordenada de actividades relacionadas entre sí, según las características de las actividades y la función que desempeñan. Se puede identificar diferentes fases en una secuencia didáctica. Por ejemplo, presentación, comprensión, práctica, transferencia, etc. Esta cita es del CDC que ustedes ven en la cita, es el diccionario, un diccionario de términos de didáctica del Centro Virtual Cervantes, del Instituto Cervantes en España. Lo pueden encontrar online. So in this graph, you can see that the yearly planning, la planificación anual, is made up of a series of teaching units, unidades didácticas, okay, you can see 3 in green here as an example, and in turn, each of these teaching units is made up of a series of teaching sequences, las secuencias didácticas. Entonces ustedes ven, por ejemplo, secuencia didáctica 1, 2, 3, etcétera, etcétera, para la unidad didáctica 1, and each teaching sequence is made up of a series of activities, okay? Activity 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Following a logical development, okay? And the idea that each activity prepares learners for the following one. So there is this idea of sequencing. Okay, can we see the next slide? Oh, I have to make haste. Right. Very briefly, I'm showing you a possible structure of the teaching sequence, all right, which I have organized in 3 blocks, okay, so to speak. The first one is that of the preparation tasks, okay? So the first preparation task typically aims at activating prior knowledge, okay, both language knowledge, okay, topic knowledge, all right? And this is typically done with visuals, all right, by activating vocabulary. If you have more resources, okay, in your environment, okay, such as a projector, okay, or a computer, or a TV screen, all right, well, this will, what you resort to, okay, to activate prior knowledge will depend very much to the resources around you, okay? Then brainstorming is also a kind of activity, okay, especially for vocabulary and topics, okay. This is in the slide, it says rights, because I took this from a teaching unit I prepared on human rights, okay, for another presentation. All right, so after the preparation tasks, there are a series of input tasks. Input is essential. There will be no output, okay, if there is no input first. So the idea is that in this task cycle, learners do different, well, listening, okay, and reading tasks, okay, of increasing complexity, okay. So the first ones will be very simple, probably defining terms, okay, and so on, using definitions from, for the case of human rights, for example, okay, from Wikipedia and different sources online, okay, and you can also resort to videos, okay, you know, YouTube is a source, an endless source, okay, of videos of different degrees of complexity, ranging from very, very simple ones, okay, to more complex one from, well, from the media, okay, from the English-speaking media, all right? These input tasks are coupled with comprehension activities, so that the attention of the learners is centered on the content, okay, of what they listen to or read, okay? And then the output tasks will prepare the creation of this final task, okay? In the case of this example I'm showing you, the idea was for learners to design a blog to raise awareness of cases of human rights abuse. So the idea was to prepare learners to write this blog. You know, a blog may consist of very, very simple statements, okay, from students, okay, agreeing, disagreeing, all right, of course, politely, all right. The idea is you can disagree, okay, as much as you want, okay, or you may agree as much as you want, always politely, because we are not only teaching English, but we are especially developing citizenship, all right, ciudadanía, all right, that should be written in capital letters, okay, if it is English, biology, social studies, or whatever it is. Okay, can we see the next slide, please? Right, okay, this was missing. This focus on form, meaning, or use, that is to say, the more language-centered activities is ongoing, all right? There is not a specific point in the teaching sequence for you to make learners aware, okay, of the language needed and how the language works, all right? In using the different kinds of activities most teachers are familiar with and that you find in any course book. Okay, now let's have a look at the next one. Good. I said I had two examples, and looking at the watch, I think I will only have time for one, all right, which is an example for a first year class, okay, lower secondary. I had a look at your present diseño curricular, okay, and I found one of the ejes, okay, one of the topics there is to communicate about habitual and ongoing actions, okay, a typical topic of lower secondary, all right, and I thought the final task for learners could be to produce a TikTok video promoting a product, okay, for example, food, drink, okay, or an activity like going to a place. All right, this is my idea. All right, let's see the next slide. All right, so this is from the curriculum, and I highlighted, okay, the presence of these ideas in it. Okay, let's move on to the next. All right, the structure of the sequence, again, is centered around preparation tasks, okay? First with brainstorming about habitual and ongoing actions, okay? And knowledge activation for students to understand, okay, a video they are going to watch, and the video they are going to produce on their own, the TikTok, they are going to produce on their own. And then there are different input tasks, as I said before, and the output tasks preparing for the final production. Okay, let's move on. Okay, and of course, the language focus everywhere. Following slide, please. All right. I thought I am grateful for to my students, okay, Soledad and Valentina, because I borrowed this from a class plan, okay, they prepared yesterday, in which they activate these habitual and ongoing actions using an example. All Argentine kids and kids around the world, okay, are familiar with, okay, Messi, okay, and through pictures, okay, they are quite small, you can see them very properly, okay, but you can read the examples, okay. Every day Messi plays football, but today he's playing video games, all right. Or every day Messi watches TV, but now he's listening to music, and so on and so forth. This is, the idea is your students have been working with this language point, okay, in the last lessons, okay. This knowledge is activated by getting them, okay, by eliciting these sentences from the students to prepare them, okay. Let's see the following slide. All right, and I found this funny video on YouTube, okay, about describing activities in which there are 3 or 4 very brief scenes in which this is done, okay, people doing something funny, okay, now, which is different from what they usually do. All right, can we click. All right, so we need to activate or probably build new knowledge, okay, such as washing the dishes, okay, or a bathtub. Well, the woman is washing the dishes in the bathtub, okay, because the sink is broken. Okay, so this may be vocabulary that you need to pre-teach. All right, and the next slide, okay, the same, okay, with the next scene. Let's move on. All right, to show the captions, okay, cleaning the floor. We see the product, okay, he's using to clean the floor. All right, next one. But what he's using to wash the floor is soap, okay, ordinary soap is mentioned. All right, but if you use a magic product, okay, a very good product, then your floor will be shining. All right. So this is the prior knowledge. Okay, next slide. Okay, let's now try to watch just a minute, okay, or less of this video. Can you click? I think we don't have time for the video. I told you what the scenes are like. So the activity I would propose, I will share with you in the chat box the link, okay, to this video. I cannot do it right now. I will do it when we finish the talk. But you know that this presentation stays, okay, on YouTube, so you won't miss it. Next slide, please. This is, well, one typical activity, okay, we can get learners to do, to view this video and to identify these sentences as true or false, okay. This provides further input, okay, such as she usually washes the dishes in the sink, okay, but today she's washing the dishes in the bathtub, okay, and so on. This recycles, okay, this provides further input. Okay, this is very, very close to what they heard in the video. So the challenge is, let's say, one you can offer everyone in the lesson. This is not only for the best ones, okay, but for all kids in the group, regardless of their ability level. All right, next slide. Then, as a further input task, I propose a reading comprehension activity that I invented, okay, using pictures from WhatsApp to a course book you probably remember from the past. Well, the text was my invention. It consists in reading and identifying the pictures, okay, that express every idea in the text. And you can see there are examples of not only statements, but also of questions, okay? What does he usually do in the evening, all right? Or doesn't he usually have lunch in the office, all right? Expressing surprise, for example, because this was also mentioned in the video, and the idea is that students will do a TikTok, okay, as the final task. So this language should be encountered, okay, over and over and not only once. All right, next slide, please. Okay, the output task, as I said, was, well, consists in the preparation of this TikTok advertising a product, okay, a service or an activity. Okay, for this, we will get learners to watch a small section, okay, less than a minute, okay, from the video, okay. It's an advertisement for a floor washing product, okay, called Sparkle. So the idea is that learners do something similar, all right. And well, we have to help learners create the script, okay, for the ad. This could be done in pairs, okay, in groups of 3, you may choose, okay, but groups shouldn't be too large, because then we have, you know, this idea of how many were actually working, okay, if we assign groups that are too large, all right. So pairs or groups of 3 might be 4, okay, might be just fine. All right, next slide, please. This is the transcription, okay, of that segment from the video, and I have highlighted in red, like in the old substitution drill, all right, what learners could substitute, okay, to make their own video, let's say, promoting not this product, okay, to wash floors, okay, but another, I don't know, it could be food, for example. Oh, you're eating something, you usually eat something different, okay? And then this person says, oh, let's try blah, 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 all right? And then a final slogan, okay, like floors always shine with sparkle, okay? Lunch is always fantastic with whatever product, okay? So this is the idea. As you can see, we try to guide learners as closely and as much as possible. We offer them lots of input, okay? As you can see, I deliberately skipped, okay, the language focus part here, all right? Because this is what most teachers do anyway, all right? And do very intensively. I wanted to show you more instances of the skills, okay, activities that will prepare for this final task, okay, which is the TikTok. All right. Can we see the next slide? Thank you. I will just mention the other teaching sequence I intended to show you, which I cannot, okay, because of time constraints. This other sequence was intended for, at least in Córdoba, okay, in my jurisdiction, okay, the topic of inclusive language is one of the interest centers in the 5th year, all right, upper secondary school curriculum, all right? So, and you know, inclusive language is a hot topic in Argentine and world society today, okay? People are very, very much in favor or very much against. It's not usual to find people who are neutral, okay? To this, people are, well, staunch, okay, supporters or staunch detractors, okay, of this. So the idea was to offer preparation tasks. First, defining, okay, what inclusive language is, all right, using activating knowledge, using photos, and so on and so forth, and then to offer input tasks, okay, reading and listening tasks. And the output task consists in watching, again, a YouTube video in Spanish, okay, from this page TKM, maybe you're familiar with it. It's a video on inclusive language, which explains, okay, what inclusive language is and how it works, okay? Si es para desmarcar el femenino y el masculino, pongan una E al final, okay? And the idea is to get learners to make English subtitles, okay, for this video. Of course, with support, they will have I offer them scaffolding, okay, for them to know how to do this, okay. The first conditional is important, okay. If you, okay, blah blah blah, then do this, all right. This is published, okay. This sequence is published. I will share with you the link for you to download this article, okay? So, because I knew I wouldn't have enough time, I simply wanted to mention it, okay? And to share with you the file if you want to try it, okay? In your lessons, okay? And having said this, I will stop talking. and say thank you, okay, for your attention. And I would like to open the floor, okay, for questions, comments, okay, tomatoes and cabbages thrown at me, or anything, okay, or praise if you want, okay. So I'll be happy to share with you and listen to you and interact with you. Thank you.
Well, Mario, thank you very much for your talk. I've been reading the comments in the chat box, and the teachers, about 200 teachers have joined us now, and more will watch later. And they are thankful for the opportunity. They have shown interest throughout the talk.
Okay.
So we are really glad. There's a question about diversity and dealing with diversity, right? In grouping, how you deal with diversity. Should we change grouping arrangements? Or no, it's a difficult, it could be a topic for a new talk, but well.
But yes, but for 1 hour, okay?
Or a series of talks.
This is a thorny question. Okay, and you know as well as I do. Of course, when what learners want is to work with their friends. Okay, they want to be together. Okay, with their pals. Okay, so but this means that usually the pals will be at the same level. All right, so they will be. Very good ones, okay, or probably the ones having more difficulty, los que ya se la llevan a marzo el primer día, okay. So it's difficult to decide what to do here. Probably the best thing you can do is try to mix groups. I mean, if you do group work twice, okay, this week, well, one time, okay, you let them arrange themselves as they want, but the next time you devise a system such as numbering, okay? So please number 1, 2, 3, all right? So all number ones work together, all number twos together, and number threes together, okay? You know, tricks that you can use in order to get more interaction. Okay, and you will get more diversity if you randomize the group, okay, by assigning a number, for example. All right. I'm sure that my answer was not very satisfactory, because it's the $1 million question. Okay.
Exactly.
And I don't have $1 million. Okay.
Exactly.
To share.
Yes, we deal with this problem every day. Every day we deal with this problem, and we come up with different solutions. Maybe the ideal solution, because the ideal group does not exist, right?
Yes. So it's better probably to vary all the time. Okay. And that means randomizing, numbering, for example. Well, I supervise teaching, all right? So my trainees have excellent ideas. And you know, well, when you're a trainee teacher, you do special things, okay? Teachers, okay, teaching every day usually don't. Like, I remember one group, okay, having lollipops, colored lollipops, okay, in 3 different colors, and they handed out a bag, okay, with the lollipops, so all red lollipops got together and things like that, okay. But again, okay, that you may do that once, all right, but not permanently.
Not every day. Yes. When you are a trainee, you have more time. You devote yourself, your entire self to planning and to the teaching.
It's a different situation altogether.
It's a different situation, definitely. Yeah. And that's another problem, the time we have for planning. But well. Well, thank you very much, Mario, and thank you all the teachers, right? There are teachers from everywhere in the province, just to let you know, from Miramar, from Junín, Ramos Mejía, right?
Thumbs up.
Everywhere. So, yes.
Okay. Saludos a Barrio Don Bosco, entonces.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
For this engaging and valuable presentation. Your ideas will certainly inspire our work in future discussions, and I cannot thank you enough for this morning. We'll be in touch.
We will.
And thank you all teachers for joining us today, and we'll continue talking as we move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.